Hi amigas, let's make heart-shaped conchas. So here's all the ingredients we're gonna need. I'm going to post the ingredients in the comments, but here it is. All right, we're gonna start off by warming up our milk to about 106 to 7 degrees, no more than 110 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna add 1 packet of active yeast. We're gonna dissolve it because it tends to clump together. Now we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar to feed the yeast. Cover it and let it activate. It's going to take about 10 minutes to activate. Here it is after 10 minutes. It looks nice and frothy. Now we're going to crack 3 room temperature eggs. Now we're going to throw those eggs in the mixer with our milk and yeast mixture. Now we're going to throw in our 1/2 cup of sugar. One teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 2 cups full of vanilla. And we're going to start throwing in our butter. It's 1 cup of butter or 2 sticks of butter. Keep throwing in that butter. Get it nice and creamy. Now we're going to sift our flour and add it 1 cup at a time for a total of 3.5 cups. I would definitely either turn down your paddle or turn off your mixer and then throw in the flour. Otherwise you get that kickback. I had to add extra flour for the kickback. Check on your dough once you've incorporated all of that flour. Make sure to keep 1/4 cup of flour for the dusting or for the kneading part. Now I'm just scraping down the sides, making sure that all the flour and all the ingredients get down into that mixture. And I'm going to switch out for our dough hook to start our kneading. We're going to check on our dough. If it's too sticky, which it is here, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of flour at a time. And knead for another 5 minutes. You could knead by hand as well. Once it's been kneading for 5 minutes, we're going to check on it again. Check to see if it's too sticky, which I think it is here. It's a lot less sticky, and it's still kind of stuck to the side of the bowls. The mixing bowl. It's not sticking to my hand, but it's still pretty sticky. So we're going to add another tablespoon of flour and we're going to knead it for another 5 minutes. Once it's kneaded for 5 minutes, we're going to check on it again. It's pretty much cleaned off the side of the bowl. It's not sticking to my hand. So I think we're ready. Now we're going to butter a mixing bowl with room temperature butter, everything room temperature. And we're going to put our dough in there. We're going to grease the top of the dough and we're going to cover it with saran wrap. Make sure to push the saran wrap down into it so it expands with your dough. Cover it. I'm going to put it in the oven under the bread proofing mode for 2 hours. It's going to double in size. Here I am 2 hours later. Look at the magic of time. Checking on it. Looks good. Now we're going to make our paste for our conchas. We're adding 1/2 cup of vegetable shortening and 1/2 cup of butter, all room temperature. And we're going to sift flour and confectioner sugar together. The measurements are in the comments. All right, once we've done that, that's going to get rid of any chunks of sugar that would make your paste chunky. Once we've creamed up the butter and the shortening, we're going to add a splash of vanilla. And I had to switch to my dough hook because my paddle was in the dishwasher. I wish I would have used the paddle. It would have made it so much easier. Making sure I'm getting all that powdered sugar and flour off the sides. And mix again. And we're going to keep doing that until it's almost like wet sand, but like it sticks together when you squeeze it together. And I'll show you here in a moment. My one pair of gloves, I wish I would have had more gloves, but I ran out of gloves. So I saved this one pair for dyeing our paste. All right, so now we're going to knead our paste and it's going to warm up. Make sure to grease your hands with butter or your gloves. We're going to separate the paste into 3 balls for 3 different colors and 3 different flavors. Once the dough comes together, almost like Play-Doh, soft and shiny, but not too dry, we're going to add some Nestle Quick, the strawberry flavor, and some pink food coloring. Parece sangre, huh? And now we're going to knead that together until it comes together. And this is why I needed gloves. Otherwise, my hands would have been pink for a week. And actually, my nails ripped through the gloves, so I ended up taking them off later. Once that dough is nice and soft and shiny and all the color has been mixed in, we're going to make chocolate. Same process. Put in 2 scoopfuls, 3, a little bit more than 2, and grease your hands. That's going to add more moisture since we're adding all that dry ingredients. And you're just going to knead it until it looks like chocolate. This recipe takes all day, but it's so fun and it makes you feel so accomplished. Now we're just going to grease our hands and knead the vanilla. And here are 3 flavors for Conchs. All right, now we're going to knead our dough. There's a lot of kneading. I need money. No, we don't need. All right, so now we're going to knead our dough, which I didn't film, I guess. And we're going to flatten out a piece of dough and we're going to cut it out with a large cookie cutter. This is a set of cookie cutters and they come in smaller sizes. So I use the second largest for the concha and then the largest cookie cutter for the pasta. I ended up filling up a tray full of conchas. I made some round ones too, but I'm only showing you guys the heart ones since Valentine's Day is coming up. Now we're going to cut one of the little vegetable bags and we're going to use the inside. Make sure it's a clean bag. And we're going to make little paste tortillas, and we're going to use the larger cookie cutter, and we're going to place it on top. Press down, make sure it gets well pressed into the dough so it doesn't just float on top. And we're going to have fun with the colors. I actually made some marble ones. I made chocolate. I was having fun with the heart shape. Here's a half and half. I'm going to cut it out into a heart shape. There we go. Good. Now that we've put our paste on all of our conchas, we're going to cut our design into the concha. You're kind of making like a little rainbow design across the concha, but you can honestly do whatever you want. And now we're going to proof our conchas for about an hour and 15 minutes. Now that they've been proofing, here's how they're going to look. Throw them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. Check on them after 10 and give it another minute if you need. Here they are. I hope you enjoy and I'll see you later. Bye, amigo.